Welcome back to another episode of the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm your host, Mike Vennard, and with me today is Randy Mowry. Today's episode is, Can I Hang a TV Over My Fireplace? Let's get into it. Hey Randy, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I am doing well, my friend. It's gorgeous outside. It's beautiful here in the sunny state of Michigan. We can call it sunny state right now because we've got months before it turns into overcast state of Michigan.
Yes. I love it. These mornings like this where you get the windows open, you go out to walk the dog, and it's nice and cool. Almost need to throw like a little long sleeve shirt on to get out there to walk the dog. But other than that, yeah, it's beautiful.
We're here to talk about TVs. And can I hang them above my fireplace? Everybody's asking, how can I get a TV up there? Can I put a TV up there? And I just smile. I just smile.
I do too. It's probably one of the first questions either the client will ask or that I will ask based on the products that they're looking at, for sure. Because it is important. I mean, and everybody seems to be wanting something like that, everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Everybody's doing it. It's definitely a value to the home for folks who are trying to sell, those types of things. I remember a day when people used to have big doors that closed off the TV so you didn't see it, but now TVs are so flat, they look like mirrors half the time. It's just, hey, I want to sit here, I want to see the fire. If I'm even having a fire, and then have my TV right above it, I can enjoy. Some folks turn on a fire on their TV because they don't want to light a fire. That's just where we're at, Randy. That's just where we're at.
Yeah, and it just depends on what is going on, It really is. I hear you, my friend. It's the time of year. I hear you.
So, Randy, I mean, there used to be very simple answers to this, and I know oftentimes it falls to not necessarily the fireplace manufacturer's book, or manual, but it also falls to the television manufacturer's manual. And typically, people think, oh, I'm going to get permission from the fireplace manufacturer to put a TV above their fireplace. And it used to be a very simple answer. No, they're never going to give you permission for that. However, it's so popular now that some manufacturers are saying inside of their manuals, the fireplace manuals, hey, this is going to fall to your TV manufacturer's manual and warranty, but here's what we've done for a television install above our fireplace.
Yeah, because like you said, the TV manufacturers, they're constantly keeping up with what's going on in the trends and stuff like that. So I see a lot of these manufacturers, the TVs, they're going to have we'll call it like a do not exceed temperature somewhere in their specifications for that particular model of TV. So no matter what we talk about today on this episode, as far as our fireplaces, which is what we're experts in doing, I want to stress that always go to your TV manufacturer and find that do not exceed temperature spec within your manual for your TV. Always refer back to that. So wood burning is, as far as like a pre-manufactured fireplace, let's say if someone's buying something from us, with wood burning, what you're going to lean on is the manufacturer's clearance to combustibles. Chances are with the wood burning fireplaces, you're not going to find any recommendations for mounting TVs above them. Okay. So, but what you are going to find in all of those manuals for the prefabricated, like zero clearance manufacturers, is your clearance to combustibles for a mantle above that said fireplace. Within that information, you're going to find whether, if you have a mantle that is made out of wood and it sticks out 2 inches. And I'm just going to use round numbers here, Mike. These are not specific to any manufacturer, and it's just for the podcast's sake. Let's just say that fireplace had a 2-inch wood mantle, has to be 18 inches above the opening of that wood burning fireplace. But then let's say that you have a 6-inch mantle that is all wood. That 18 inches above now may turn into 24 inches above said fireplace opening. Okay. Now this is just for the mantle clearances. This kind of goes back to what I was first talking about, is your TV temperature exceeds. Now you have this mantle. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, well now I'm deflecting the heat away from everything. Now I can put my TV right above it.
Right.
Refer to your TV specs on what they may have for temperatures, and it might be something that you may have to get a simple infrared gun to see what your temperatures are when you're burning. So there's some things there that as a homeowner that you're going to have to take that homeowner responsibility based on you putting your nice flat screen TV above it, because there are still some potentials for that thing to overheat, and why you got to kind of look at all facets of everything that's going on with the fireplace, the mantle, and your TV manufacturer.
And that's a great point. You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast. Fireplace manufacturer isn't going to be responsible for your television. They're just not. It's not going to happen, right? And then the television manufacturer is going to say, you stuck it above a fire, it's not going to work, no warranty for you. So it really does, if you want to make that happen, there are things that you could do as a homeowner to check those temperatures, to verify, to make sure that that's going to happen. But again, I think you make a solid point. It's really popular right now for just a flat, flush wall. You have to have something sticking out there to keep that heat from just rising up the wall to the TV. And there are rules for that, like you mentioned, right? So we're giving you an answer, listeners out there. But there's really no yes, no answer to this. You have to think heat and TV. Would I stick a TV above my bonfire outside? Well, that doesn't make any sense, Mike. No, that's dumb. I need to consider that when I'm putting this TV on the wall. Is it right above a bonfire or a fire of any sort, right? So we can move that right into our next one, which is a vent-free firebox.
A vent-free fireplace is just that. It does not have a chimney that exhausts those flue gases to the outside. These are 99.9% efficient. It's like the most efficient way to heat said space in that living room, family room. So it is an open fireplace. It may have a 6 to 8 inch glass guard as what they call a wind guard for the front of it. But other than that, it's open flame. So we have open flame, 99.9% efficient, means a lot of heat that comes off of said fireplace, a vent-free fireplace. Just like you said, heat rises. It's going to come off the top of that inside of that unit. It's going to roll and it's going to go straight up. So same type of thing, kind of like with the wood burning. They're going to have clearance to combustibles. They're going to have clearance to combustible mantles. And they're going to have the same kind of information for mantles, 2, 4, 6, the dimensions. So you refer to those. However, we do have a manufacturer that actually calls out some specific framing and installation design to mount a TV above their vent-free fireplace. Now, it's very, very specific. You have to use what's called a heat flow kit, meaning this stuff goes in behind the wall. It redirects. There's a vent above your TV. Then your TV has to be recessed in a pocket. Very, very specific guidelines that need to be followed, Mike. The easy answer for this back in the day was no.
Yeah, just straight no.
It was vent-free fireplace, no. Then we have a manufacturer that creates this heat flow, which has been great. It's great because it's opened up a lot of opportunities for folks, but it's very specific. So we want to make sure that, same thing, no. Even though they offer it, they call it out. It's the same thing. You're going to have to refer to your TV manufacturer's heat on placement of this TV because there's very specifics on the framing, the heat flow kit, the recess pocket depth, things of that nature that have got to be followed. But there again, these are their recommendations. They're not taking the responsibility of your TV. So it all still has to work together.
Right, and that's the important part. It's not permission.
That's correct.
It's opportunity, but it's not permission. Your warranty for your TV is still going to read what it reads regardless of the fireplace manufacturer. So, Randy, I got to admit, it's intriguing to me that this manufacturer came up with this, but it does make sense in places, especially interior walls, where you can't run venting. In the past, the only option you had then was electric. And now they've kind of opened that up to say, no, if you can get a gas line there, you could use a vent-free box. And we have this set up so that it can pull the hot air away, and you could put a TV in there. Just make sure your TV warranty explains what those temperatures need to be. So that portion does make sense. I agree with you, though. In the past, it's always been vent-free. No.
But, it's good on them. They're catching on and offering some alternatives for folks because, as we said in the beginning, TVs above fireplaces is a huge trend. It has been, and I don't really see that going away anytime soon. So,
well, let's keep moving, though. So vent-free, no, with a caveat of a potential yes, right? Let's talk about direct vent fireplaces.
Okay, so direct vent, just to touch on so folks know what a direct vent fireplace is. A direct vent fireplace is a sealed system, meaning it has a solid glass panel front. It directly vents to the outside, either sidewall on your vertical wall on the outside. If you're on an outside wall of your home, you can just go straight out the back. You can go up 90 and go straight out the back, directly outside. Or you can go directly vertical straight up through the roof and vent either way. But it is a direct vent to the outside. The flue gases go to the outside. Within the same pipe, it pulls fresh air into the fireplace. But it's a sealed system, solid glass panel front. Direct vent fireplaces, which can go into any room of the home, have the same kind of specifics for your mantles, your clearance to combustibles, but a lot more manufacturers in a direct vent mic have these heat flow kits that are specific to allow a TV even as close as 12 inches above that glass and redirects that heat either above the TV, or if the wall, the fireplace and TV are going on, protrude out into the living space, they have what they call side discharge vents that you can put on the side versus the right above the TV. But they're specific to do the exact same thing that we've been talking about, is move that heat away from the glass, redirect it away from the TV and out. But there again, not every direct vent manufacturer has these options. They're specific to the manufacturers. So it comes down to the size of the fireplace, the manufacturer, so there's some question have to be answered there, when we're talking with the client of what they're looking to do, kind of where it's going, what size, because not all of them have that. But they do all have that clearance to combustible for mantles without these heat flow kits. Kind of going back to that whole, I don't want a heat flow kit, I want to do a mantle. You still have to follow those instructions, your TV manufacturer instructions.
Randy, we need to discuss quickly here. We talked about the heat coming off of the front of a fireplace, right? And it climbing the wall and the TV being there. But when it comes to vented fireplaces, as well as your vent-free, that cavity that the box has slid into, typically called a chase, in a lot of homes nowadays, that chase runs from floor to ceiling. In some way, that's what you're looking to mount that TV to. That whole cavity gets pretty hot as well, and that's why they developed heat flow systems, is to help pull some of the heat out of that cavity and into the room instead of radiating off of that cavity. So that's a consideration as well. You mentioned earlier maybe getting a laser temperature gun. That's a great idea. So you can see before you even get going here, what is the temperature of my wall when I'm using my fireplace? If you're in a new build situation, you're going, okay, I want a TV up there, then you should be able to find that information as well. But it's not just heat coming out the front, it's heat inside the cavity too.
Absolutely. Yeah, what you want to consider too when you're doing, like if you're recessing and creating another pocket for your TV, because you're gonna be having that hot air surrounding that recessed pocket. Yeah, so there's definitely quite a bit to consider there, and why you always, not only the manufacturer of the fireplace on their recommendations, but also your TV manufacturer, because you obviously don't want to have too deep of a recess, we'll call it, for your pocket, and you're kind of trapping air with inside your recess. So there's a lot there that you want to research and talk. On the front end of a job, Yeah, obviously a lot easier. When you're retrofitting something, it's a little bit different.
Agreed. Yep. Yep. Front end projects are always easier as long as you're thinking ahead, right? Until you get to that point and you go, oh, I forgot. And you got to rip a bunch of things apart.
I may have done that once or twice when I finished my basement.
Speaking from experience there. Fun stuff. Okay, so we've talked about wood, we've talked about vent free, we talked about direct vent, electric. Can I put a TV above an electric, even if I'm using that electric for heat?
So great question. So when it comes to electric, so I'll use my own experience. I have three, getting ready to put in a fourth electric fireplace in my own home, and I have TVs above them all. And when I mean TVs above them all, the closest I have is, I think one of my TVs is about 4 inches above my electric fireplace. I have used the heat out of it and haven't had a problem. Most of the manufacturers are going to allow TVs above all of their electric fireplaces. But there again, as we always talk about, Mike, is check with that specific manufacturer, because I can only speak to like what we offer. There may be other out there that say, okay, maybe you need 6 inches above that TV because of the location of where the heat comes out on a specific electric fireplace. For the most part, the answer is yes. You can put a TV above any electric fireplace, but refer to that manufacturer just to be sure, because if it does have heat, there's a couple things with electric fireplaces, Mike. Traditionally, your electric fireplaces just plug into a 110 outlet, okay? And they're like 5,000 BTUs of heat based on like 1,500 watts or so. Well, there are some electric fireplaces that if you wire them to 240, that BTU goes from 5,000 to like 8,500, 9,000, 10,000 BTUs, 2,400 watts, things of that nature. So you're changing those dynamics. That's where you're going to want to check that manufacturer. Like mine, 3 of the 4 discharge heat at the bottoms and 1 through the top. So there are different based on the manufacturer where that heat's coming out at. So you just want to check. But for the most part with electric, yes, it's safe to put TVs above them because it's a simulated LED light bouncing off of a mirror. Some of them do have this heat we talked about, so just check to be sure.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It is, electric is something that is super popular. The ease of use and installation, it's becoming, and really the look of them nowadays as well. There are a couple manufacturers out there right now who are being very innovative, but almost all of the manufacturers are in the game, right? They're in the game some way, somehow. So everybody sees the trend, and that's a big piece that you just mentioned. The ability to just put it in place and do whatever you want around it is awesome. But the caveat there, be careful. If you are utilizing it at its highest or max BTU output, just make sure you do a little research and see how that's going to push out of that box.
Absolutely.
Well, excellent. Randy, I think you've not answered the question of, can I hang a TV over my fireplace?
Awesome. I hope it helps everybody with their designs and what they're thinking about fireplaces and TVs and getting them in the right direction and mindset of, what they may or may not need to do what they want to do. So
Sounds great, brother. As always, thank you so much for being here. And to our listeners, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, concerns, if we got it wrong, reach out. Let us know. We'll definitely take that input and grow. And appreciate you guys being out there. Randy, appreciate you being a part of this. As always, brother, you take of your own time, and I'm so thankful for you, man. So have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great day.
Join us next time for The Advantages of Electric Fireplaces. We'll see you then.